Good day and welcome to my spotlight. Hopefully, I'm going to educate you now. This slot has come about because it seems to me from recent discussions that not everyone is fully familiar with cyber hygiene. Cyber what? Well, it's just about observing simple rules and rituals to strengthen your resilience to hackers, much in the same way as you would wash your hands to get rid of germs. 10 points if you can read the first line in the column on the left. It says, I can crack your password. And that is simply because most people choose terrible passwords. The first example of a terrible password, and all it took, was for my friend and colleague, let's call him Paul, to divulge the name and age of his partner for me to have a good guess at a password that Paul either uses or has used in the past. I don't have to laboriously go through all of the possibilities for a password. Software will do that very quickly for me. This table on the right shows how quickly various password combinations can be cracked in 2023. The days of 8-character passwords should be long gone, and here's why. If you look at an 8-character password, at row 8 here, you can see that even if we go along to here, the most complex password, numbers, uppercase and lowercase letters, and symbols, it would only take 5 minutes to crack an 8-character password of that complexity. So back in the left-hand column, I have suggestions that I took from a password generator. They are randomized, between 12 and 18 characters long, um, and contain a mixture of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. So here's some sage advice. If you use the same password for everything, if one website gets compromised, your password will give access to a hacker, not only just to that website, but all of them that you log into. So what to do? Here's my list. Use a different password for everything you log into. Use a secure password manager. Change your passwords frequently. Always use two-factor authentication, sometimes known as multi-factor authentication, and stop using passwords altogether. I'm not saying just get rid of passwords and don't replace them with anything, but you can replace them with things like fingerprint recognition, face recognition, physical keys that you actually have to do something with and plug them into your laptop to use, and devices like that. So, yeah, there's ways and means of getting rid of passwords, and you should do that as soon as you possibly can. Now, can anybody spot what's wrong with this email address? Shall I make it a bit easier for you? How about now? 10 points for spotting the difference between the emails. It's quite easy, really, isn't it? The lower one is typed with a Cyrillic A, which a mail server will route to the wrong person. It's not because the font is different, but rather that it's completely different character from a different language, in this case Bulgarian, typed using codes on a keyboard. So how can you help yourself without having to meticulously examine every character of every link that gets emailed to you? Well, you could use business grade, antivirus, anti malware, anti phishing, anti ransomware, and anti Doris, who has a nose for these kinds of things. You could also use secure email that checks links for dodginess before you click on them. Hello, hello, what's going on here then? Ransomware is a real menace right now. It's a form of malicious software that infiltrates your PC, usually the result of a successful phishing attack where a hacker tricks you into clicking on a dodgy link in an email, and we've just seen an example of how that might happen. It's even now the case that malware can get onto your machine without you clicking anything. So a ransomware attack encrypts all of your files, not just on your PC, but in the cloud and backup devices attached to your PC and on your network, and holds all of that data to ransom, and it can be pretty expensive. So what can you do? First up, you can deploy software that's very good at detecting ransomware. However, even with the best software in the world, sometimes a new piece of ransomware slips through the net. In that case, you need industrial strength backup facilities that cannot be attacked by ransomware. I'd also strongly advise talking to an IT managed services provider. Here's a shameless plug for an IT managed services provider. For advice on all of the stuff I've talked about today, consider InfraZen as the trusted partner for your network. Have a banana.